Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ian Stedman of Magic Meeple Games, and I'm joined this evening by Michael Lipton, the designer of the game we have right here in front of us, Incoming Transmission. Say hello, Michael.
Howdy, folks.
Hey, so we've got this game set up for the two of us to play for everyone, as kind of a walkthrough of the entire game. You want to explain what you've set up for us here?
Sure thing. So, this is the standard pattern that every game is set up. It's every other for the modules.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a standard setup for the game, which means that the corners and the center tile are going to be intact, everything else is damaged.
Mm-hmm.
I've set up our transmission deck, which is our 7 cards, our 7 turns that we get. It's been set to a fairly high difficulty. We're going to try to challenge ourselves.
All right.
And I've also pulled 3 missions out of the mission deck already and taken a look and figured out what the best paths are. I'm hoping for Ian to follow.
All right. So we've got
Additionally,
three missions.
I'm going to be playing mission control. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yes, 3 missions, and how many transmissions? How many rounds are we going through?
We're going to be going through 7 rounds on the
Excellent.
transmissions,
All
and
right.
that deck has already been set up for a higher difficulty.
Fantastic.
All right, so I've already figured out kind of the best path that I hope Ian will be able to follow,
All right.
and I'm taking the part as mission control. I will be talking a lot more during this playthrough than I would normally, or mission control would normally
Right.
during a standard game, just for the sake of this demo here.
Yes.
All right, so
All right. So I am
what I'm
ready
gonna go
when
ahead and
you
do
are.
is
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pick my 5 commands that I need to send off to the cadet and hope that he can follow them perfectly.
Yeah. So the cadet will begin the game in the middle. Always begins the game in the middle. Give him a little spin there. Yeah.
That's 1,
1 and
2,
2, 3, and 4, and 5.
and so before we do anything with this, we flip over a transmission card. It is a level 2, so it's just 5 shuffled.
5 commands shuffled
All right,
up,
there you go.
and good luck to me. So I've got a north, a collect, a west, another west, and another north. Sounds pretty straightforward. So I can either collect where I'm standing and then move, or I can move and then collect. Um, I think it'll be. I think it'll be less horrible for me if I set it up this way to collect first. So I'll set this tile aside since I've collected it and picked it up, and then I'll complete my movement north, north, west, and west.
All right, so I take these cards back.
Pass those cards back to mission control, and then they'll select their next 5.
All
That's
right.
important that you make that selection before we turn over this transmission card. That's something that a lot of new players make mistakes with. You want to make those selections before you know how the transmission is going to be sent out.
I think I've almost got this figured out.
All right.
And once more, there we go. Okay, so I got my 5 selected. And all
Hooray!
right, level 1. So I get to tell you what the 3rd command that I want to you execute. All right. So 3rd command that you're supposed to execute is going to be north. So there you
Alright.
go.
And then the rest
Shuffle
is.
those up.
Yep, the rest is up to me. Alright, so we have a collect, a south, deploy, and an east. So, yeah, it looks like I got that wrong. So, let's go south, deploy, north, collect, and east. So we're going to dump the X-ray scope over here, come back up, pick up the android, and go east.
All right, so that's 2 turns down out of 7, and we haven't completed any missions yet.
Not yet. And you're going to select your 3rd set of commands.
Yep.
So just how high of
Now
a
I need to
difficulty
figure out-
setting did you use on this one, Michael?
Fairly high.
Fairly high.
We don't have a. Yeah, I'd say hard to very hard difficulty.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, On this one, unfortunately, I didn't grab a guide. I just went, this feels like a fun little way to do it. All right. So, let's flip over this guy.
Alright, that's another regular command. No help, but nothing bad either.
There you go.
Alright, so 5 mystery shuffled up, mixed up cards. We've got a west, an east, a south deploy. South, east, west, and deploy. So this must be meant to go here. So let's do south, deploy, and do a little boogie shuffle.
So you said it's meant to be there.
Deploy, west, east.
So you said that's supposed to be there. What was your logic behind saying that that's the obvious spot for that to go?
Well, I was making a guess as to whether or not the deploy would come first or it would be south-south. And by the way that you gave me that west-east to kind of just shuffle back and forth, leaving me on this space, that led me to believe that it was the center of importance. And that was probably where you wanted that to go. So,
all right.
My logic may or may not be helpful, but we're merely revealing that for the audience, of course.
All right. So now I just need to figure out what else to have you all do.
All right. So this is the 4th round, and I still haven't completed any missions yet. I'm starting to get nervous here.
Which also means I'm going to be getting less conservative with my pretty much my transmissions to you, my commands, because I need to take up any lost time.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right, Ian, you want to explain what that means?
Yep. So Michael's going to choose Michael has already chosen the 5 commands that he wishes to give me, but now that this has been revealed, we're going to add one of the unused cards to the stack, and that will be mixed in. So now I have to decide which one of these is bogus and ignore it, consequently. So what do we have? We have 2 easts, 2 norths, a south, and a repair. I don't think that repair is fake, so I'm going to hang on to that. Don't know where, though. Probably it goes in the 2nd register, and my first is going to be a direction. Luckily, west is not one of those options, so it's between north and south. And wow.
So what logical steps can you take here to determine whether or not it'd be north or south for you?
Well, you've already had me up above. You've already had me in this northern sector with the biotech lab and the comlink module, but you sent me back down here. You could have made me dance by going back north and south, but instead you had me go east and west. So I think you mean for me to go south and then repair that and maybe a jaunt over to the east and back north. Let's try this. So south, repair, east, and north.
And being that you know that there was an error, you actually get to skip the 6th one. You get to choose which one you ignore.
Yes, so I'm ignoring that last north.
All right, and
hooray!
Extreme conditions.
So, turns out the radiation is much, much worse than we originally thought. It has become so severe that it can destroy electronics almost as quickly as organic matter. Just in case, we need to make sure the hazard suit is within reach of the android to protect its delicate inner circuitry. So, the hazard suit is directly next to the android. We have completed that mission, satisfying its conditions. So, 1 down, 2 to go.
Easy peasy, right?
Sure. We've got loads of time.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind the fire.
3 more turns to complete. Yeah. 2 more. That's not so bad. All right.
I'll just put this fire with the rest of the fire.
Yeah. All right. There's your 5. Perfect.
We got to shuffle and reveal. Whoa.
Oh, no. Yep.
All right.
No, it's just... All right. We're good. That's just 5 normal.
Okay, so What do we have? We have north, north, east, and west, and collect. Well, with all that movement, I've got this radius of movement, or range of movement. The only thing I can collect without repairing is the fusion core. So I think I'm going to go for that fusion core. Let's do the north, and the other north, and east, and collect, and west. We'll complete it. So up, up, and collect this, move over there, and then land back. And let's see. Where can I put this? I'll put it right here for now. All right. I hope that was correct, because we don't have a lot of rounds left.
We do not. Alright, so I had to be really careful with what I'm doing here. I don't know if we'll be able to do this, but we'll see how close we can get.
Yeah. That's always
I'm
fun.
going a little quiet now because I'm trying to concentrate. Oh boy.
The tension.
Alright. Before you flip these.
Of course. Which we will not do.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's usually I'd just be handing these over, so it's a little jumbly on the game here. Alright, here we go.
And there's the error. Okay.
Alright. That's probably gonna hurt us.
Alright, so a west, a repair, a deploy, east, south, and another west. Yikes. This
I really
is
wish I
going to
could say
be
something.
This is a tricky one. Well,
Yeah.
you had me move
Yeah.
over here after grabbing the fusion core. I could put it down first and then move to repair one of the two near me, both of which I can access. I've got a south and I've got a west. Maybe I'm supposed to go west twice and then deploy this and repair something.
And so this is again, this is as mission control. I would never be doing this, but this is just for explanation for people watching. Currently, in Ian's position, if we were to deploy where he was, he'd be next to these two spots, the energy pack and the comlink module. If he went west twice, he'd be deploying it next to the comlink module and the biotech lab.
Right.
However, if he went west and then south, he'd be deploying it by the comlink module, the energy pack, and the biotech lab. Which, if you're not certain where you're supposed to be going for, doing something there would be the safest move.
But where to do the repair?
That's the big one.
That is the
And again,
really
like I
big
said, these
one.
are hints and logic steps that I wouldn't normally be talking out with the cadet.
Yes. I mean,
taking a break?
no. Ostensibly, I could even go east and drop it there, but that would be silly. That leaves me with where I'm gonna actually do the repair. West and south, of course, and deploy gives me the best chance of success with at least matching the pair correctly with one of these three tiles. I have east and west left over, though, so it's got to be one of these. And I think if it was the biotech lab, you would have had me repair it earlier. So my money is on east. So let's go west and south and deploy and east and repair.
All right.
And I don't see any red cards, so I must have
I
messed
ain't
up.
giving you one. Yeah, there's no red card, no mission card coming to you. And we only have one turn left.
Oh no.
So let's see if we can at least get one more solved.
Alright.
Which still isn't victory.
Not bad though, 2 out of 3.
Alright, so before I give these to you,
Yep.
we flip this over.
Alright.
Well,
This one's
that
fun.
would have been nice to have earlier.
So, Mission Control will be allowed to tell me what goes in command register number 1, but there's also going to be an error shuffled in with the other 4.
So west is the first command.
All right. And we have repair, collect, east, west, and another east. Well, I know the west is going to happen, so I'll just move myself now. I suppose I was supposed to repair that other thing, and maybe... I actually think the collect is the red herring on this one. So I'll from here, that first west puts me on the fusion core. Then I'll go to the biotech lab and repair it, and then run back to the east and wait for the kaboom.
And hey,
huzzah!
Secondary containment.
If primary containment of the Meeploid sample should fail, it is critical that we have the fusion core deployed next to the biotech lab so that it can power the emergency failsafe system. Top Brass really doesn't want that thing getting loose with the cadet, at least not until the station is secure. So, fusion core, biotech lab, we got 2.
We got 2 out of 3, which is a failure.
Yeah, we lost.
So, Ian, you played as cadet fairly. We had... The very first step you made was a mistake. You grabbed that X-ray scope instead of going up here and grabbing the Android.
Oh, man.
What I was trying to convey to you was I originally had north, north, west, west, collect. And I figured, hopefully, you would realize that if I wanted you to collect the X-ray scope and head up in this direction, I would have also given you a deploy, because you could reach any of the spaces that were open up there, rather than to... And therefore, being that I didn't give you a deploy, the smartest one would have been to have grabbed that.
Yeah.
Oh, but you also made the smart move of saying, if I'm going up there and I was supposed to take it with me, it would be a lot of time to run back, grab it, and come back this way.
It would have.
And then that just cascaded into me having to get pretty loose with my commands and not being able to make it easy on you and hoping that you just interpreted it just right.
Right.
That was a close one.
It was.
The final thing we needed to do was to get that comlink module to the rescue pod.
Oh.
And that
comlink
would have been a rough one.
To the rescue pod, yeah. That was a little far away.
We needed 2 more turns to get that done.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. We hope very much that you've enjoyed this kind of explanatory playthrough, how to play, kind of strategy guide, as it were, overview of the game. The campaign is on Kickstarter and active until August 10th. We'll put the link down below in the description. And is there anything else you want to add, Michael?
Just it's one hell of a game. If you enjoy the deduction, figuring out what the heck other people are thinking, hoping you have one hell of a mental bond with someone, and enjoy fun frustration as you watch your plans all fall apart, or get elation as you're able to interpret what someone wants you to do, this is definitely a good, solid game.
Yes, we've gotten excellent reviews on this one. Rado loves it. Box Games loves it. Tantrum House loved it. Casual Game Insider loved it. We're really happy with it. So everyone, yep, the list keeps going. So thank you everyone, and have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time.